Hey y'all, welcome to Stivers Homestead. I'm Zach.
I'm Jen.
Every time. Y'all have caught us at dinner, and so we are going to show you what we're making for dinner tonight.
It's a new one.
It is a new one.
And I'm kind of nervous about it because it's not really something that I'm into. But I'm trying to expand my horizons, especially with all this ground beef that we have.
We got a bunch of it.
So, we'll see.
Just squish it out.
I don't want to.
Why not?
Because
Just push it.
it might get stuck in there.
No, it won't. See? You gotta have faith. Moving.
Okay, we are. Oh, I just remembered. I gotta get that other thing going. We are making Asian style meatballs. So I don't like meatballs.
Where's her pass?
In here, you gotta get a new one.
Oh.
Raylan says she does. She doesn't.
I like meatballs.
But they're gonna be Asian style, and I'm gonna make them really small. So I think I'll like them. We'll see. But with that, we're gonna have some butter / egg noodles with some flavoring to them. And yes, we have paper towels again. We lasted about a month. We did really good. But circumstances have changed. School's going on. Nanny's in the home. Paper towels are a must. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, we're running through rags pretty often, if you know what I mean there, because that's better on the bum.
Yes.
So there's that TMI for you as we make dinner.
Sauce.
Are we doing it like that old lady?
Yep. Old ladies do it best. You know, soy sauce.
I don't think so.
Any deals?
Hey! What's the top to the Cholula? Hey! Gosh darn, what are you doing in there? Wow. You're like a wrecking ball.
It's basically the same thing.
Lay down there, man.
I can't find my brake ribs. So we're just going to use croutons and I'm going to crush them. I don't know what I did with my brake ribs. I know I have them. I just don't feel like looking for them. But this should be about the same, isn't it?
Sure. What's going in?
Brake ribs.
So far, what you have in here is about 1.5 pounds of ground beef, I'm going to guess, because it looks a little bit more than a pound. Just think about it, you always get a little bit different. What else?
Dale seasoning, which was supposed to be soy sauce, but whatever.
You know, improvise.
And panko, well, croutons. Crushed up croutons that were supposed to be panko breadcrumbs.
There you go, and onion. And then garlic.
Yep.
All right. So I am going to make cafeteria noodles. It's a little different than just butter noodles. They're really good. They're really good. That's all you need to know. But what you need is...
I found it on TikTok.
Found it on TikTok. Some egg noodles. A quart of broth. So, funny enough, we was telling you about that. This is a quart of our turkey broth when we harvested our turkeys. So you got a bunch of good, healthy broth. If you're buying store-bought broth, don't do that. But if you have to, you're probably going to want to add a bouillon cube, or better than bouillon, or however you say that stuff, the really bad stuff. But it does add good flavor. Preferably find you some homegrown broth, because it should be darker. It shouldn't be so light colored. And then you need a can of cream of chicken. That's the only store-bought thing that we're going to be doing in here. And we're going to make this. It's very simple. First thing you need to do is you need to get your chicken broth in. And you can't smell botulism, but you can smell other things. It smells fantastic. So we're going to put the whole quart in. And then we are going to add some pepper. And then a little salt. Then we're going to bring this to a boil. How's the meatballs going?
Okay, I got the ginger in, grated ginger, and now I'm going to mix it up.
All right, once we've gotten to a boil, we're going to add our egg noodles. Hey, you don't need the oxygen absorber. I'm just going to get them down there and get them coated. And then we're going to add our can of cream of chicken. Bloop. Get that all stirred in there. It's gross right now, but just wait. Just wait.
I know, you can make your own cream of chicken. I just don't have it right now.
Yeah, we don't have that, but at least it's our own broth. We're going to let that come back to a boil, and we're going to let it boil for about 3 minutes, and then we're just going to take it off the heat and cover it. Now, back to Meatball Lady.
Yep, so I'm going to make the glaze now. I've got it all mixed together, but I'm not going to put them in yet. But I'm going to go ahead and get the glaze going so then I can just turn it on when I need to. So first is a tablespoon of sesame oil, and we're going to need 3 tablespoons of honey.
Going in.
Yep.
I like honeys.
Me too.
You're my honey. Wait in.
Alright, we're going to do 2 tablespoons of our Dale's, but that would be soy sauce or coconut aminos.
Did you just Zach and these?
No, it says coconut aminos.
Oh, not liquid aminos?
No.
Huh, how about that?
Next is sriracha.
Sriracha. We ain't got srirachis? What about just hot sauce? Or what about Valentina? That's pretty close. Oh, it's right here.
Oh, hang on.
Stuffed it in the ice thing. Stuff her at her best.
2 tablespoons of sriracha.
That's a lot of sriracha, babe.
Yep.
It's gonna be hot. Next
is a tablespoon of grated ginger. Okay, 2 cloves of minced garlic. I'm not very good at mincing. It is what it is.
All right, after it's been about 3 minutes, just turn the heat off and put a top on, and we're gonna let all that thicken up and then absorb all those juices.
The last thing to go in the glaze was about 2 teaspoons of supposed to be cornstarch, but we couldn't find ours, so we used flour. Very unprepared for today's meal, but that's okay. All right, meatballs are rolled. They're kind of like mini meatballs because I don't like them, and I definitely don't want them big. So now they're in the pan, and we're gonna brown those on all sides. All right, we've got our oven on to 350. Now we're gonna pop these in the oven for a minute so they can cook through.
And then in the meantime, I wanted to check our noodles. So as you can tell with that top on and the heat off, they're getting very creamy. At this point, you could add a bunch of butter if you wanted to, but you don't really need it.
Meatballs.
Meatballs. Man, they look delicious.
Okay, so now we're gonna take our glaze. Just pour it. It's really thick.
Well, we let it go on the heat a little long. It should not be so thick, but it'll loosen up once it gets in there and starts melting itself right down. Gonna stir them in.
Yep.
Those look good. I like a meatball.
We're just gonna sprinkle with some freeze-dried chives. I'm supposed to use green onions, but I don't have that either.
It's probably gonna be the best meatballs ever because they're so
throw them together.
Unique.
Last is sesame seeds.
Alright, now let's plate this bad boy. That was amazing.
It was.
That was so good. So she had the idea to put it on the little romaine bowls. I call them bowls because it's lettuce, but that was really good because it gave you a nice crunch.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't like meatballs, but I really like those. They were very small. They were crispy. The lettuce made them crunchy, and the flavor was amazing.
It sure was.
Yeah, so those were from T-Bone, our ground beef. We're trying to get through that because we haven't been eating as much as we should. So we're trying to go through the beef and trying to get creative with like meatballs. I don't like meatloaf, but we might try meatloaf.
I love meatloaf.
Or we might try the mini meatloaf cups.
Ooh, that'd be
So
good.
it might be better.
Now you didn't like big meatballs, make small meatballs, now you make mini meatloaf. I like that. And then the cafeteria noodles were creamy, just goodness. Like, don't expect like a wham of flavor. Like, it's not like that. It's just creamy and it's good, and it's so nice to have like to the side of stuff. Yeah. Anything you have anything with like a sauce, like it's good to have those with it because it complements. It doesn't give you a battle of your palate, I guess is what I would say. But good job. That's a winner. Make it again. All right, dinner was absolutely fantastic. It is the next day, and it is the first day of fall. Yay. And it feels like it around here. So the last day of summer came out with like 94 degrees on us. It was super hot. First day of fall, rainy, cloudy, 70 degrees. Low tonight's going to be 49. So as much as we want to just have living room with the lamps on and just nestle in for movies. What's he want to know?
It's got the book.
What book?
It's something I got.
You gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
All right, you let us know when you figure it out.
Okay.
All right. I love her. It's been a lot of fun having her here. She's so funny. What was we saying?
So, that's the garden I have back.
Sticking right in your bag.
We'll fix it.
We'll fix it. As much as we want to sit in there and just hang out with her in the living room, we do still have to get a little busy. But we are going to get that done this evening and just settle in. So first off, we have had a 12-year-old bed.
It's not that old. We got it when we lived in North
Feels that old. I feel that old.
So it's probably 6 years old. So,
Okay, so I cut it in half. I exaggerated by half. Apologies, but it's a 6-year-old bed, and it's funny. It was one of those things. Like it was like our first purchase, and we like when we really started feeling like adults. Like we bought our own bed. It wasn't somebody's used bed, and so it's been a great one. It's king size. We've really enjoyed it, but it's really starting to wear out.
Yeah.
And it's not one of those you can flip over.
So when we went to our Airbnb, that bed that they had there was the best bed I've ever slept on in my life. And I think when you sleep on a good bed after so many years of not having a good bed, you go home and you're like, I don't, like, this is why I don't sleep. This is why I'm so tired in the
Right.
afternoon. This is why I hurt when I get up. So immediately we were like, something's got to change. And we couldn't figure out specifically what that mattress was, but it had a pillow top on
It
it.
had a pillow top. So her and I, because y'all know how expensive mattresses are and they just keep going up in price. We're like, you know what? They had a pillow top on it. Let's try that first because that's cheaper. So we went on Amazon and checked out reviews. People are brutal on these pillow tops. So I'm hoping that we have good experience with it. But let's get this bad boy on there.
And we bought this, by the way. This is nothing. No affiliation. Just part of our day that we're showing.
Yeah, it's just we are like struggling every morning and we're centering in on it's the freaking bed. So we're going to fix it. Welcome to our bedroom. I don't think y'all are here quite often. We love our bed and we love the window. Like we get to look out at the chickens all the time. It's pretty cool in the garden. All right, that's side story. Spiderwebbed. Let's get this undone and get that on. So it appears we've gotten a 4-inch gel memory foam topper mattress from Bed Story. I don't know any of that.
Amazon.
Amazon, bye.
I'm going to be here in a minute.
I got mine. Watcha. You gotta take everything off because it goes on the sheet.
I don't want to do that.
Well,
Okay.
gosh. Phew.
Yeah, use your knife.
No, I'm not using a knife. That doesn't feel like the right thing to do.
Oh! You're right to that movie. I like it already.
I like it already. What is that, though? Come on now.
Come on in. Go in. Oh, it's high.
Oh, I think I like that.
Oh, gosh, it stinks.
It stinks real bad. I'm kind of sinking in it, though. I think I like it.
I think I do too.
Dude, you're about to get a 3-hour napping clip. Alright, let's get off this thing. It needs to do its thing.
I mean, that smells awful.
Right.
Oh, what kind of bed is this?
Don't sniff it.
What do you ladies think?
Mine. There's roof right here.
What was it?
Coming from
The plumbing problem? What's wrong with it?
water everywhere on the floor.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. What happened?
What happened was you never fixed the plumbing issue under the sink and the bowl got full and I felt water coming out on my toes. By that time it was too late because the entire cabinet was flooded. And we had to take everything out. We had to use every towel in the house. Finally got it cleaned up.
That is really true.
Well, anyways, the mattress is now expanding and we are doing what, babe?
Already canned this broth.
Can this broth. So let's tell you what we've done, where we're at, and now you'll know where we can go after that. Whatever I tried to say there. So what Jen is doing right now is getting the fat layer off of our broth. So before you get to this point, this is what you need to do. And don't worry, I'll have this down below in the description if you're curious. To make broth itself, we made beef broth. Like we had mentioned in the previous video, the beef
Bone broth.
beef bone broth, yes. So we had all the remaining bones after we had our cow butchered. She roasted those at, what, 400, 450?
Yeah.
About 450 for, just to give a guess, like about an hour.
Yeah.
About an hour to get them roasted down. She then put them in our big turkey roaster with water, celery, carrots,
Yep. Onions.
onions, anything else?
No, I think that's it.
That's about it. And then she brought it to a boil. Once it became to a boil, she then put it on a simmer at around 250, would you say?
Yep.
About 250 degrees for about 48 hours. After 48 hours what was done, we drained it all. We drained all the bone, strained it all, whatever. Zachanines. We strained all the bones out just where we just had the juice, and then of course you're still gonna have the fat in it. So in this process to get the fat off, if it's in the winter, cover it up, stick it outside. If it's in the summer, like when we did it, put it in the fridge, let it sit overnight. That's gonna put all that fat on the top, like what you're seeing right there, and then you can just scoop it off the top. Don't worry if you don't get it all. The whole point is you just don't want all of that fat and grease in your broth. So once we get done with that, we'll show you the next step. Do you want to strain it again? Like what I'm getting at is when you pour it in this big pot, I can hold a strainer.
Yeah.
Picking up what I'm putting down? You want me to pour and you hold? Which way you want to do this? Going well.
Certainly holding down the gas on now.
What? Oh, don't do that. I went to the ER once for that. Don't really want to go again. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, now we just have this in our big stock pot and we're just getting it warm again. We want, because we're doing all hot packing, so we want to get our broth nice and hot. And that way it'll all be the same once we get going. So that will take a while to get going.
Thank you. Why are you being mean?
Alrighty, let me turn it off real quick in just a second. So the broth is hot, our jars are hot, and pressure canner's almost hot. By the time we get the jars filled, it'll be good to go. So we're gonna get these filled up in an inch headspace. If you're unsure, an inch headspace is always your safest bet. I promise you that. We'll probably go an inch headspace. We'll get these filled up, get the lids cleaned and all that good stuff, and we'll get them in the pressure canner. I wouldn't have to take such a long clip if you would get these problems first. Don't you cry no more. Oh.
Okay, so we got 10 quarts. So we're gonna stack 5 and 5 because we can stack in this canner, which is great. He wiped the rims with vinegar, make sure everything's cleaned off because there's a lot of, you know, grease and fat and broth. You don't want any of that on your rims so that nothing seals. That would be terrible.
Anyone talking about it looks different because it's U-line?
Yes, yeah, these are U-line jars, so we really like them.
I do. I really like it. I love a clean jar.
Yeah, and
like
the lids are great. The seals are great. We've never had a problem.
Yep. Oh, here, shut.
Okay.
So it would hold more, but I got it in like a tight circle so it'll fit evenly when I put this on there. That way the next 5 will be balanced.
Yep, we'll put the other 5 on top, and then we had one with like a quarter of a jar left over of broth, so we'll just put that in the fridge and use it for something
I'll
good.
just drink it right now.
Or just drink it. Everyone's in, so we're gonna put the lid on, get that all tightened up, make sure that your seal's even, put everyone on opposite of each other, and then we're gonna let it do its thing until steam starts coming out that little top, just like everything else pressure canning. We pressure can our broth. That's the way you're supposed to do it, but I'm sure people have water bath just fine. But we just go ahead and bring the pressure canner out because honestly, it's quicker.
It really is. I love pressure canning. I hate all that water in a water bath.
Yeah.
Bowls over everywhere. All right, while that is getting going, Jen is making chili.
It's the first day of fall.
First day of fall. It's finally time. It's gonna be cool enough tonight that it's gonna be fantastic. However, I wanted to brag about my wife real quick. Hand me that baggie. So yesterday, Jen made her first round of what's it called?
Focaccia bread.
Focaccia bread, and it was, by God, the most amazing bread.
Rosemary and garlic from our garden.
It was the
so good.
most amazing bread I've ever had in my life. So, this was her first round. Next week, she'll show you how she did it. It's one of those things we like to kind of trial and error sometimes, because if it's a complete fail, then that kind of sucks. So we want to fine tune it so you understand. Second thing she did is in the fridge. What is this called?
It's garlic confit. Comfy.
Comfy? So that's just garlic, oil, and rosemary, right?
Yes.
And then you slow roast it for, how long do you do it?
About 2 hours.
About 2 hours, and it's like a paste, basically, that
Now
you put
it's a
on your
spread.
bread. Yeah.
Spread it.
That's pretty awesome. On top of making all the tinctures and teas and saz and spices and all the other stuff, besides being a CNA nurse person for my grandmother and homeschooling our children. Superwoman. But also, that's why half the videos look like this. The backside of Jen's head. Because she's always working. And I did want to acknowledge that there are still teas and tinctures that are out there. I know a lot of people have asked, like, what do they all do? So in the Etsy description, it explains what they're all good for. But we've done videos on the teas and the tinctures.
Yep.
I'll try to list both of those down below, where we actually speak out in detail what each one does.
And there'll be more teas at the end of this week.
Well, you're seeing this at the end of this week. So
Hopefully.
just keep checking. Keep checking. Our goal is to get down there and fill up the rest of the teas. Oh, we got it all. We just gotta get them in the bag. So the favorites, like the pumpkin ones, the hazelnuts, the banana breads, what was it? The creme brulee, all that stuff. It's all gonna be back out there. We ran out of bags. So we had to wait for Amazon to get more to us. But they will be out there either right now or this weekend. So keep an eye there. And to normally catch cool things Jen did after she did it. What did you just do there?
I put some freeze-dried mixed vegetables in.
Yeah, so that's a really good way. And when we always talk about freeze-dried food for soups, this is what we're talking about. She didn't rehydrate them first, but because it's a soup, you can just throw the freeze-dried veggies right in there, and they'll do it all together within the soup, and there'll be so much more flavor because it's not just water that hydrate them; it's actually the soup itself. There you go. They're all done and looking absolutely beautiful. And when you can, you get a little hungry for a snack.